the recording. Okay. And if anyone has any questions or, anything like that, feel free. Um, so at the beginning, or I guess I should wait for people to come into the. We've got 11, that's fine. Okay. So first, let's just go over kind of the pre-war stuff. What I mean by that is like gear. Um, on your axe in war, the best perk is refreshing move. The reason why is um, you kind of cycle between like using your skills and then you kind of get out of like the big clumps and then you recharge your skills and then you go back in. That's kind of the play style you should be looking for when you're a bruiser. Like you nuke a clump when you have Gravwell and your cooldowns, and then you get out and you start hitting light targets. Like you want to then just swing your axe at some whatever is convenient. Preferably like light targets, but if it's not, that's fine too. And then the next best perk is Thwarting Strikes. And then after that, there is a lot of options. Chain is pretty good for charging your Heart Rune. Attunement is good for, single target. And Enfeebling Maelstrom is also very good because they nerfed Cleanse Pot to a long cooldown. So like if you weaken, multiple people by 25%, which is, higher on your weapon, that's actually very good as like a team play kind of great axe to help your team survive. On the hammer, it's not that important. The main thing is you need Sundering Shockwave. Uh, After that, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just, get some damage skills on there. Thwarting Counter is actually pretty good because um, it works with your Path of Destiny. But it's not. I don't think anything is really mandatory other than Sundering Shockwave. You get the extra rend. Um, I think the best gems are Empower gems. It doesn't. It's actually better if we as a company have more different types, just in case like uh, people gem against you. Also, the second thing is if you hit someone with it, there's an arcane damage per second for 2 seconds, right? So the same type doesn't stack. So like if me and Mora both are using the same gem and we hit the same target, the dot only works for one of us.
Oh, damn.
So actually, we should be using different dot gems. It's
Hmm.
also the same in PvE too, if you're curious. But so that's for weapons, right? Um, for earrings, um, refreshing toast is the most important. The other ones are kind of, you know, personal preference, kind of. Like refreshing ward is good. Nimble, like it's okay. Like you don't really need it. You can use other things. You can use purifying toast, regenerating, whatever you want. For the ring, invigorated punishment is what you want to use. It's just the best for PvP. And then you can have either slash or keen awareness, and you can scarab roll like and either slash or keen awareness, whichever one. And then on the third perk, you don't want hardy because we're playing medium. You don't need the extra stamina to have 3 dodges, so you can use refreshing ward. That's in my opinion the best third perk. And then for the amulet, there's two types of amulets you can get: either health divine and protection, or health protection stamina recovery. So the reason why for bruisers you don't have to have stamina recovery is because we have a perk in the Great X tree that you should be using.
Right.
Um, this is called Mauler's Resolve. It's basically stamina recovery, like when you get below 50%. Um, so that's why I use Divine. Divine helps with your pots, like your healing potions. Obviously the healer is healing you. But if you use stamina recovery, that's not bad either. I do recommend the slash protection on it. Um, and then when you go to armor,
Add something real quick to that
yeah,
amulet.
hmm
Um, I heard that most heals are going to be maxed on the healing, and so that you can drop divine and pick up shirking and power. Is that something that would be viable
that I
or
cannot
useful?
answer. I don't know. Like maybe that's the case. We would have to like dig into that more, right? Like I've never heard anything about that from anyone. I've never seen anyone use it like in their gear, like because I've seen a lot of gear from like some of the best bruisers, and
Right,
and
right.
people always seem to use either divine or stand recovery, but um, if that's a thing, I think someone would have to test it out to like make sure that's the way it works.
Yeah.
The next thing is for armor. The main thing is you need resilient and some shirking for it. With resilient, ideally you have all five pieces. Four is like probably the minimum, but you really want to try to get to five, and you want shirking fortification is great. You're kind of in there, right, in the clump, so it's really easy for you to proc shirking to give you more fortify. I have five, but you don't really need five for shirking. You can go with like whatever you can manage to get. 3+ is kind of good. You need insatiable gravity well. That's like mandatory. It gives you another pop on the gravity well, and you get some heal, which is nice. There's two other perks, or three other perks rather, that are optional. One is Path of Destiny. So it sounds really great, but it's actually just kind of okay. Like, if you have it, it's fine. It's good. It's probably better than Refreshing Ward. Um, but I don't have a good piece with it, so I don't run it. The second is Enfeebling Maelstrom, for the same reasons. Weaken is a lot better now, since you can't spam Cleanse Pot. And then the third one is if you want to run Whirlwind, you need the Whirlwind perk to give you Fortify. I don't run Whirlwind, I run Charge, so they're both valid. Um, so that is that. Next, also another optional thing after that, like the one that's the least important, is pieces that have Refreshing Ward. Um, that's the best out of the three refreshings, and Freedom. So if you're using Freedom, you need three pieces minimum. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste. And it's or you can have more cooldown, like Refreshing Word that I run. Refreshing and Refreshing Evasion are going to be less good than Refreshing Ward, but they're still useful perks if you have them. Elemental Version is not terrible to have one. Like if you have one on a piece, that's fine. That's good too. But it's not as important as Resil, Shirking, and Insatiable. Those are the three that you want. And then for your Heart Rune, you use either Stone Form or you use Detonate. Those are really the only two you want to use as a bruiser. And then for consumables, this fifth slot's going to be the Cleansing Potion. Gemstone Dust is better than Oak Flesh, so you should be using Gemstone, and it should be tier 5. If if it's a throw war and you don't want to, waste the money, you could use a tier 4, but um, you know, I know the tier 5 is like 100 something, but I generally spend you know, 15 to 20 gemstone each war. Regen potions, you should be using this pretty constantly. Um, and then the cleanse pot is actually the best consumable. So when you think about when you look at it, you're like, oh, it removes things like rend or whatever weaken on me. But in reality, it's just the strongest thing for keeping you alive. So you shouldn't think of it as a thing that removes burning and rend. You should think of it as this is the best thing to keep me alive in a clump. And one of the most important things when playing Bruiser is your consumable usage in a war. There's so many people, and you probably feel super squishy if you do not have good consumables. The regen, you pretty much should just be popping it constantly. And then the Oak Flesh and Cleansing, you pop it before you engage. So you might see like an opportunity in front of you where there's three guys or something, right? You need to pop your regen and then your gemstone dust. And then sometimes your cleansing pot too. So you see that clump, you pop those, right? You throw your gravel at them. Um, not too far, and then you and the combo is Gravwell, Shockwave, and then Maelstrom in that order. What will happen is the Gravwell will pop, and everything kind of pops at the same time, so it's like a lot of damage at once. It's like the maximum amount of like burst damage that a bruiser can achieve, and that's what you want to do. And then your team will also follow up, like a VGIG or BBIG to that combo, and that's what kills people really fast. That's how you might die really fast. Like um, when you throw your grav wall, it should be really near you. You should not, almost never throw grav walls out like this. That's bad.
I used to make that mistake because you'll never get in there fast enough
You'll
to
never
complete
get
your
in there.
combo.
Exactly. You'll
And by the
miss.
time you
You'll
get back to
miss.
your axe, you miss that second pop.
Exactly. You can't. You're not gonna be able to combo like that. So there's mainly two ways of throwing grab. Either you look down, throw it at your feet, like just like that, or you throw it close enough where you can do one dodge forward and then shockwave and maelstrom, and you'll still be able to do your combo that way. So that's how you use like your gravity well. And for path, uh, it heals you a bit, right? Depending on how fat the clump is. You can also POD like let's say you have another bruiser with you, right? And he made a call out, he grabbed over here, right? You're too far out here, you can't like make it over there. You can just POD to help add some damage. Or if you see a big clump, you can just POD it because it staggers them. So like if you hit a bunch, like usually, that's not terrible of a play, like that's decent. And for POD, since you should use these opal gems, typically you don't want to get interrupted, right? Because if you're trying to POD, a lot of times you probably get hit and then it doesn't go off, right?
Right.
So typically the play is you dodge backwards and then you POD. That's I mean, if you're chasing them, you can dodge forward and POD, but like if people are near you and they might interrupt you, you dodge back and then you POD. It also makes your opal proc because your stamina is not full. Um, Next is where are you playing and what you're doing exactly. So um, at the beginning, what you kind of want to do is play near the point. Um, you don't have to be like you don't want to really be on the middle of the point typically. Um, you want to play the edges as for a bruiser. You can play here and you can also like move out a bit from here. You don't have to necessarily play on top of the point, but you don't want to like in our war. What happened was like people were just like way off on the right side, and that's like a bad place to play. Um, when you play close to the point, there's so many benefits. One is it's easier to like get sacreds or share sacreds. You'll find more sacreds here to heal you and keep you fortified. The next thing is you're close enough to push influence on the point. Um, if you push influence on the point, guess what the other team has to do? They have to move into the point, right? They have to make sure that you don't capture the point, right? So what's going to happen is it pulls the fight close to the point, and all your enemies are bruisers are probably going to start rushing the point like this, and some their VGIGs, and then you can really easily find a big clump to gravel combo. Your VGIG does his job. Your BBIG shoots them. You kill a bunch of people. The second thing is it pulls the whole fight closer. So the healers, instead of them being able to kite wherever the fuck they want out in Narnia, they're probably gonna have to be like behind, like over here maybe. They're gonna be like behind their to heal like their bruisers that are crashing the point. So then it's easier to walk up there, hit the healer, pressure them, and it gives and when all the bruisers and VGs are more centered around the point, like it makes it easier for our kill squad to freely attack them because they're not going to be peeling as much. Um, so you kind of want to play close to it, if you can. Unfortunately, the sacreds are different colors, or not different colors, so that kind of sucks. But sometimes you just have
Mm.
to do your best. you really want to like ideally your healer should place the sacred where you're fighting a clump. So like if they're if they hit you with a grab well, or if you hit them with a grab well, like you hit a grab well here and you do your combo, right? Ideally that's where your healer places the sacred, and that's where your VG IG follows up on. Um, and then I want to go back to consumables again because I cannot stress how important consumables are. Um, if you played Bruiser in that last war, you probably felt like, oh, you can't do anything because you died instantly in like a second or less, right? They just like they probably comboed you like with 3 or 4 people. Without all the fortification and like the cleanse pot removing rends instantly, um, you'll go down really fast. Like you have that's one of the biggest things that you don't learn anywhere else. Um, but war and it's like mandatory. Like if you don't have good consumables, you can't play well as a bruiser. You're just gonna like die, right? Your healer can't kill you if you die like in less than a second. Um, and then let's see what else. So oh, so as a bruiser, the tokens that you get, you're gonna keep buying more cleanse pots. You can buy a small amount of haste pots. They're gonna sit in your inventory, and you're just gonna open your inventory to use it. If you get hit while you're in the haste thing, it cancels it. So try not to. If someone's trying to shoot you, try to be a little dodgy. Like if they're trying to prevent you from hasting over to the point or whatever.
My
Let's see.
my little advice to that is before the war starts, clean out your inventory.
hmm
That way you can access that haste pot quickly. You
Yeah,
won't have to
I
scroll
keep a
down and look for it.
clean inventory. But also I heard some people type in like all the different consumables, and it shows only those.
Oh, damn, that's pretty cool.
That's like another thing. If we're defending or we get to fort, um, these all these multi levels let you make plays. Like you can but you have to kind of calm with your team. Otherwise, if you do it by yourself, you're probably not gonna do anything. But you can run, walk, and then grab wall as you're getting close to the edge, like this. That way you don't waste any time grab walling when you're down here. You don't have to fall and then grab wall. You can cast it while you're in midair, and then when you're down here, you just shockwave and you maelstrom. And you can do it on every level. Like you can do it on the gates. You can be up here and do it down here or wherever. But basically, the way you should think about the bruiser is you're kind of like a mage. Like the way you play, you you want to make a clump, burst damage it. Gather it together with your Gravwell, rend it, and Maelstrom, and then that's like gather together, rend, deal as much damage as you can, and your team follows up on that. Your group, rather. Um, and then after that, you're just gonna go back to like you want to get out because you don't want to stay clumped because they can Gravwell you and combo you. So then you want to get out. You want to just start hitting things. You want to like use your refreshing mood to get your gravity well back up, so you can repeat that over and over again. Um, you use your axe for autoing. You don't want to use your hammer typically. There's very few scenarios. Like you can be cheeky. Like if you're not around anyone, like you're in a situation where you shockwave someone, you can heavy them. That's fine. Or you can follow with a wrecking ball. Combo them. However, but if there's a lot of people, that doesn't work at all. They're just gonna get hit and then stand back up. Um, so you're mostly autoing with your axe. If you're in a point in a group, like in a clump, let's say, and you're trying to get out, right? Um, you can spam your dodges, and the other thing is your consumables. So the two consumables I would use, like if you're in like a longer fight, like maybe you can't get out or you just want to keep fighting for some reason you have to use your skills. You want to reapply the cleansing potion and the gemstone dust. You don't have to necessarily reapply the regen, but those are the two you want to reapply to protect yourself. Um, and to get out, besides dodging, you can also like if you're running charge, um, charge ends when you hit something, so like you kind of have to dodge out so no one's like in your way, and then you can charge out, then hit your potion.
I
You're
think
using,
something to add to that being clumped, or when you're surrounded. You said dodge and consumables, but also just auto
yeah,
attacking.
I was
You're
gonna
adding
get
grit
to
and
that.
that 12% damage reduction.
So you want to auto a lot because you get the 12% damage reduction from the enduring strike. It says heavy
Yeah.
attack, but actually it's just well you have grit active. So like when you light attack like this, you get 12% damage reduction. But if it's a big clump, you really need that cleanse pot to save you. That
Oh
thing,
yeah.
that thing is the main thing, and then you can do whatever. You can dodge. If you're stuck in a like an ice shower or something, you can, you know, that's a good time to do it. Or if there's a bunch of people around you, you're about to get fucked. It's also good to calm like things like I just say I'm in trouble. Like that's all I really calm, and that just
I
means
was
like
about to chime in and say the single most important comm I receive from Popo when he's in trouble is "I'm in trouble."
yeah, that kind of
For
that's
your group heal,
mhm.
it lets me pre-aim my DE on him, so my cooldown on it's a lot faster if he ends up needing it.
Yeah. Um, because I can kind of see it ahead of time. I'm like, okay, I'm about to get just swamped, and I make that calm so the healer knows that I probably am gonna need a lot of healing soon. Um,
And just to kind of reinforce your statement on being on your axe,
mhm,
when you're auto with your axe, you're using that refreshing, and then also your refreshing ward is refreshing your current weapon
mhm,
cooldowns. So
yeah,
if you're running refreshing ward, you should be on the weapon that you want those cooldowns to be
yeah,
reduced.
should be your axe typically.
Yeah.
Mostly your hammer is just for like the skills. Like you swap to it to use the skills. Other than that, you should be on your axe pretty much.
Sorry, one sec. Doesn't the hammer have a better tracking than the great axe? Like I say, like a healer's like one hit, and they're like trying to run away. Doesn't the warhammer have a
You
better tracking?
it has a long lunge, the light attack. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
yeah, but you can do that. But these are like kind of small scenarios where I'm just talking like in general, right?
yeah.
There
I was
are there
just
are going to be
curious if
specific
that's true.
scenarios. Yeah.
That is true
All right.
though. The hammer does have a good
It does.
tracking.
It does. I think I need something to track it, but the light attack actually lunges you forward pretty quickly. But another thing with the axe is other than escaping, so you don't want to charge into something typically. Like charging into a fight, that's bad. Usually you save it for either escaping or if someone's like really low, it's slower to swing twice, so you just swing once and then you hit charge at them to get like a
Hmm,
quick double hit to finish them off.
nice.
What else? Is there anything else I'm missing? Okay, I guess stats or attributes. Um, this is what I use, 310, 200. You want to definitely be 300, 200. And the 10, I don't know. You can put in strength or con, whatever you want. I just like, a little bit more damage. Um, and then for resistances, right? So typically you always want more slash. This isn't necessarily like the best combo, but what I used to do is like um, I would record my VOD and then afterwards I would go to my deaths and slow it down and watch what damage types kill me, and then I would gem like against that. I'd be like, oh, this company, okay, this is what killed me, so I'm gonna gem against that. Um, so slash is something you always want more of.
Can you go back to your
Mhm.
attributes?
Sorry, what was that?
Can you go back to your attributes?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
You can go either 300, 200, or 300, 210, or 310, 200. I think a lot of people like 310, 200. because we want to
I
help.
I go 210.
210 is totally fine. It might even be better. I don't know. Like, because you get diminishing returns with the after 300. But I
But
just want.
your damage on your weapons right now is a lot higher than mine, like 100 plus
Let's
more than
see
mine.
what else.
Probably 625, maybe. I don't know. Does that make a difference?
It does. It does. I think I might even should have more slash, honestly, but I think I have too much all around resist in my current build. But you want to focus slash and fire. The reason why is a lot of times you're gonna be like in clumps with other bruisers, and they're gonna be swinging their axe against you. So you want a lot of slash. And the reason for fire is the highest burst damage character is the blunderbuss. A lot of competitive companies run BB blunderbuss with the ice on it, and they're gonna follow up. So like their bruiser, when he Graswell you, you know, you're gonna get shot by that blunderbuss too, and that does fire damage. So those are the two that are most important to focus on. I'll probably end up changing mine. I think mine's is too all around. I probably would increase mine a little bit, like my slash maybe. Uh,
Would you say the fire more than that thrust from the blunderbuss?
you want to gem fire for the blunderbuss, not thrust. Their skills,
Okay.
which are the
Can I see the
highest.
ring?
Yeah.
Grenades are fire, which fuck you up.
Mm. I have seen a lot of blunderbuss convert like half their damage, that the
How
40%
much is
to
it?
element.
How much is what?
What is it worth?
The ring? I would
Yeah.
guess around 300k. Not really sure, but
Yeah, that's 300k at least for sure, man.
yeah. You don't. The ones that you really want is the invig punishment and the either slash damage or keen awareness. The refreshing ward is like, that's all the extra stuff. All the refreshing ward or freedom. That's if you have a lot of money and you're bougie and you can afford that, then that's what you go for. But if you're not loaded, just try to get resilient, shirking, Gravwell, and the main perks.
Yeah.
Um,
2 perk bis.
yeah, it doesn't make a huge difference. Like some of the really really good players, they play on different alts and they perform outstandingly with 2 perk bis. Like
I've
they
seen it,
they
yeah.
might have a few items that are legendary, right? But they might have a lot of purple stuff, and at the end of the day, like it's like, okay, that extra refreshing ward maybe gives you a little bit more damage or something, or maybe that freedom would have saved you in one scenario. Um, Trying to think if there's
Popo,
anything else.
are there places where some of this stuff is farmable? Like
Oh, the
the
only,
hammer's farmable, like the Sundering Shockwave hammer, right?
yeah, you can get
Like if
like
you don't have one.
you can get the Sundering Shockwave Thwarting Strike one that has the ancient thing,
Mm-hmm.
or you can get the Weaponsmith. You can craft the Sundering Shockwave that has like chain and Kenian powered, I think.
Yeah, I
Um,
posted in the company. The Yo Cutter.
For
Cutter
axes,
or
there's
something.
not really anything that I know of that has refreshing move and thwarting. Um, for amulets, there is one in mutated Starstone that has these exact perks, like the Health Divine Slash.
Oh yeah, it's the Graveguard seal.
Graveguard Seal, crap. Exactly.
I post that in the company as well.
What's your thought on the
So,
rune glass gems for the armor?
okay, I don't really like them personally because there's so much damage right now, and I don't want to like
It
sacrifice
makes
more
you feel
defense.
squishy.
Exactly. So like if you
Yeah.
want to run the rune glass ones, you should actually run the melee ones, not
Well,
the
that's what I have
2%
because the
elemental
company I
ones.
came from, that's what they wanted. But I
Mhm.
always swore up and down that it made you fucking squishy.
It does. I
Versus the
personally do not.
damage, I don't think it weighs, worth the damage output.
I don't think so. For a bruiser, I don't think so. like you staying alive, I think is more important. So I
Yeah.
I don't go that way. You know, but I'm not gonna like tell you to regem if you know you want to run that. I think for kill squad that's fantastic. Um, let's see. I was thinking there might be. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I guess for consumables, you know, you pop your rabbit, then your desert sunrise, then your hearty meal. Uh, you know, of course, you use a honing stone. Um,
You use Desert Sunrise over the oh, what's the other one that you don't use anymore?
oh, you
'Cause
don't you
they
don't use the
overlap.
other one.
Incense.
The incense, you don't use that.
Incense, yeah. I just wanted to note that because some people don't
I was
know.
gonna ask the same because I always thought the incense was better, but I just didn't know.
Mm-mm.
Can show you.
It definitely used to be, but Desert Sunrise is better for the current meta.
There's a lot of ticks, especially with like the rune glass and the
Yeah.
weapons, and
Yeah, rune glass.
yeah,
Oh, so
And muskets and yep.
yeah,
All of it.
all the burns, all the ticks.
I think tomorrow there's gonna be another meeting. Not for not you know for everyone, like a company meeting. And I think Amarop, are you gonna explain to them how to do like the VODs?
Yes, I'm gonna do that for sure.
Okay, because uh, this is like super important because you know sometimes people have you know certain things they think they are doing well or that they have certain habits that you know might not be good and you know et cetera et cetera. Like you, if you're serious about like improving, like you need a VOD. Like that's the best way to make to improve very quickly. If you have a VOD, then you upload it to YouTube, and or you know if you don't have bandwidth or something, you can't upload it. You can just share it in Discord too. But if you have people watch it, they can point things out to you, show you, you know, mistakes, etc. You can watch other players too, like maybe some players that are like good or something. You can like watch how they play. Um, oh, I have to go over comms too.
Before you do that,
Mhm.
oh, I guess that might be added into it. I was just gonna ask, how would you and another bruiser synergize together? What are the combos?
So there's gonna be a main bruiser. He is the person that should do the most communication. When he dies, the second, you know, if your secondary bruiser's, you know, good, he'll, you know, also take up the like the communication. When you die, you should also say, you know, when the respawn timer is. For two reasons. Not only, you know, does it give people good information, like if the respawn timer is long, you probably don't want to die. If it's, you know, 10 seconds, maybe it's a good time to die. If, you know, if you're, and if it's like, you know, like a low time, like 3 seconds, you probably don't want to die, right? It gives your team good information. Um, Also, it tells them that you're dead too, which is also useful information. For the two bruisers, you know, so I've seen it played kind of different ways. I've seen people that play really close together, and I've seen people that play it like sometimes. Um, Generally, the way that I play it is like if I'm playing the lead bruiser, I'm gonna communication all the locations. So I'll just be like saying like, hey, I am playing 6 o'clock of point, you know? And then when I'm want to move, I tell them, and you can also repeat. Like if you're playing here for a long time, you can repeat it. Just you know, talk a lot if you're the main bruiser.
Yeah,
And then you call out your grav wells, and you want to call it with a location, not just like I'm grabbing.
yeah,
You
I've
wanna
done that before.
in your
Gravel,
settings,
guys, gravel.
you want to
That clump right there, that clump right there.
set group only and change your volume down so that there's going to be like a speech bubble above your head so everyone can see where each people are. Like whenever you talk, they can see you. Like they're like, oh, there's a speech bubble or there's a microphone above their head, right?
You have to
Makes it
put your
easier.
mic to one sensibility.
Yeah, can you bring that up again
I
so I
put
can
it at
copy it real quick?
0 and always on.
Oh, zero works too. Okay.
Yeah, group only.
Okay.
And then also there's where is it? Text. Let me try to find it.
Oh yeah, the text
Text to
or
speech.
speech to
Accessibility.
text.
Speech to
Accessibility, yeah.
text. This. You put it on. It makes it easier to see because otherwise you only get a microphone, but when this is on, you can get like a whole paragraph over your head.
Yeah.
You can't really see it, but you can see it on other people. Um, like you can't see your own really, but you can see other people. Um, and it's also like bonus. It's actually really funny. Like it doesn't like translate perfectly, so like you'll see really weird comms on people's heads. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's hilarious.
Yeah, my shit goes crazy when I turn that shit on, man.
It does. It's funny.
Yeah. So you want to calm locations constantly. Like be like, okay, I'm playing 6, and then when you're moving, you calm. I'm moving to you know, bonfire or Oppo bonfire or 12 o'clock or road, North Point. You know, however you want to do it. Um, that way your team can play around you. If you don't calm locations, it's very hard for your healer, your any kind of follow up, your VGIG, your BBIG, like like they want to be doing some of their own shit, but playing kind of near you, and then when you're ready to combo, you grab well, and they all combo with you, right? You're like I'm grabbing 12 a point, and then and if they're kind of close by, then they'll follow up, right? But if you don't calm your location, then people are gonna get, one guy might be on the right side, one guy might be on the left side. You can't play together. You're gonna
Yeah.
lose track of people. Like you have to do it verbally. You got to tell them where you are. And so like, whichever bruiser can do that, they should be the lead bruiser.
And should the second bruiser be using the same combo the same time you're using yours, or should they offset? You know what I mean? Like, do you want two grab wells down at the same time, or you
So
you time like timing it?
that is fine, but the second bruiser ideally also will play near you and do their own combos, and they can call out too. Like you don't have to like play like, always together and you're both doing the exact same skills. It's
Uh-huh.
better even if you're using the same skills, it's probably better to like stagger them. You want to shockwave like not at the same time, right?
Right, right.
Things like that. But that's not super important. The most important thing is that you're playing together as a group. Like that
Together.
you're
Gotcha.
getting that follow up because you're not gonna kill someone alone with your own damage. You need, the VGIG, the BBIG, your bruiser. Like that's how you want to focus damage in a clump and delete the clump. And you need all the, different like people in your group to help you to accomplish that, and you need the healer to keep you alive. Um, so like the other bruiser, what I would do is kind of play in the same area, like try to play like nearby, like not on top of them, but like you're just hitting things kind of nearby, so that if there is a call out, um, and you're able to assist them, then you do it. Whether you're a little further, you have to POD, or if you're a little closer, you can go up there, do your. Also, you can also throw a grapple if you have it, or if you don't, just whatever you have, right? Like if you have Maelstrom or Shockwave. Shockwave is great follow up too because it helps keep the bruiser alive, like on your team, right? Because he's in a clump, so if there's 2 or 3 guys or more here, it's kind of dangerous, right? So like if you're running up from over here, it's great to do like a stun or a shockwave to help your other bruiser have some like breathing room to not
Yeah.
die, kind of thing. The VGIG on the other hand should be closer. He should play like he should be in range for
I was gonna
follow
ask
up.
if they should be on your hip, pretty much.
You hear that a lot. I wouldn't necessarily say like you're on the hip, but you should play very close. You should not be far away from him. Like the secondary bruiser can be a little bit further away, but the VGIG, and if the main bruiser is dead, you should play on the other bruiser.
Mm.
The VGIG stuff is hella like strong. Like um your Oblivion, empowers, it strips them of all that fortify to make them vulnerable, and like you snare them so your bruiser can actually like hit shit. You know, they can't run away, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
it's huge.
it's huge, right? And then your BBIG has more autonomy, I think. Like if they're able to shoot burst the clumps, you know, that's kind of ideal. That's great, but a lot of times they are, you know, I think have a little bit more autonomy. Just based on what I've seen. Like I don't know if what the ideal BBIG play is, but you know, I think it's always great to have it on a clump where everyone's
Okay.
focused on. Um, s- you kind of want to also watch like if your healer dies, um,
So
you kind of need to play for life. Like you wanna like charge your shit. You can throw out your PODs or whatever, but you don't want to take like a huge fight. Like if it's one or two people, it's probably fine. Like you can use your consumables. There might be, if you're near the point, there might be some sacreds you can use that are allies if you're lucky. And you can attack a lot to you know, get the fortify. And you lunge forward, so you can, you know, it kind of moves you too, right? Like if you're trying to move somewhere, you can attack to be a little bit more protected. Um, but you know you should be aware of that. Like if your healer calms that they're dead or that they're in trouble, um, dead means you probably should, you know, kind of play a little safer. You know, take small fights. You can take a big fight if you think like if your team is doing like a big play. If you feel like, you know, it might be worth it to just, you know, go in. You know, that's your call to make. You can do that, but don't take a big fight by yourself. You're not gonna win. You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Um,
And so the healer's important. You're basically playing your life if they die. If your other bruiser or your VGIG or your BBIG, if one of them dies,
no biggie.
um,
Keep playing.
right, you just keep playing.
Yep. No big. Just keep going. Like really, it's only
Okay.
the healer. If the healer's in trouble, you know, just keep in mind that maybe you won't get the heals. Like, you know, maybe something's chasing them, so they may not be able to heal you perfectly. So you just keep that in mind, right? Like, uh, you don't want to play in the middle of the point. You just get fucked.
Right.
Like, um, this is not necessarily Bruiser related, but the way that points are captured is if you have more players in them, you start capturing the point. Now, for the outside points, you only need one more. Like if they have 9 and you have 10, you're capturing the point. If you have, and it doesn't increase the speed of the capture. So like if you're outside and you have, and you're you sent a group to capture the free point, because a lot of, you know, the standard practice for them to give a point away for free. You don't need all 5 people standing there. It doesn't make it tick faster. But
Oh,
in the fort, this one ticks faster if the more people you have.
okay.
So like in the fort, actually having like if you're, you know, going for the win, you know, they might call like everyone on point, you know, try to take it fast. But outside, you just need like more than them, and you'll start taking. And you know,
Okay.
you don't really want a lot more than them, because then you guys are vulnerable to AoE. Like they'll grab you and path you and all that.
Gotcha. So there's no need to like clump up on it if you're already outnumbering them.
Exactly. In fact, you probably want to declump.
Yeah.
And after you combo, you want to declump. You know, clumps, you know, clump playing really close with people is just vulnerable. Like you're vulnerable for them to kill you. So typically, like you want your group wants to play close, but not so close that a gravel is gonna hit 3 of you, right? Maybe it'll hit
Gotcha.
2 of you, like maybe you'll hit your bruiser and your VG or something. But like, um, unless you're, you know, focusing to kill someone, you don't want to like, you know, all be
I
right
guess
next to each other.
that makes a lot of sense. Like you're gonna go fight a clump. If you stay there clumped up after you kill them, that just you're now you're vulnerable for another group to come get you,
Hmm.
your group.
Yeah.
So it's
You
kind
don't
of
want to
like
get
clumping and
counter
declump,
clumped.
clump,
Yeah,
declump.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
And after after you do your combo, like I said earlier, then find some easy targets, preferably light, to whack, get your refreshing move. And I actually calm that too. Like I actually tell, like sometimes we'll tell people like in my group, like Sunshine knows, I'll be like, I'll tell them that I'm farming my grav or something. Um,
That's
and then when
awesome.
I have it up, I'll be like, I have Gravwell, and then I'll be looking for a clump to grab, and then when I find it, I'll grab it. I'll let them know so that they're ready. Um, like if I call that I have grav, then your VGIG knows like, oh, let me save my skills. I don't want to like waste them on cooldown, right?
Right.
That's
Then
super
when you
helpful.
have
Yeah.
I think
the
so too.
Gravwell, then you're like, okay, grav, wherever, and then
Never
they'll
to
have
be
their.
wasted. It's always gonna be used on the clump, the grav.
Yeah, and you don't always have to do the full combo either, like, but a lot of the time that's like really good. Um, the only times I really throw grabs like far out, um, either I'm misplaying or like maybe like your healer's running away and there's like three guys on their kill spot chasing them, right? And maybe the only way I can help the healer is like, uh, I'll tell them I throw a grab on them and then I'll try to path them to stagger them. It also slows them down if you hit them too. But that's
Yeah.
really the only times I would oh, well there's people here now.
Oh shit.
I'm switching
Oh,
into my
this
gear.
guy's a
Hang
healer,
on.
El Borracho.
We get to see two bruisers work together.
Beautiful.
Look at that synergy. You guys are just like mirroring each other.
There's one thing I'd like to add, Popo.
Yeah, if anyone, because I don't know if I cover everything.
Oh, pretty much, man. Honestly, that's why I haven't said anything. There's just one thing I want to add. Yeah, can you be in front of me?
Yeah.
So one thing I spotted on VOD reviews, some bruisers tend to like throw their grapples and dodge twice to reach their target. But I think you
That's wrong.
should dodge only one, man. Like you don't dodge twice, because you're gonna stam yourself. Like the idea of the one dodge is you still have some stam to dodge if you need to get
But
out of shit.
it's not only that, but you're not gonna be able to combo if you dodge twice. You don't have
Yeah,
time. You only
I've
have time
seen.
to
I'm
Right.
dodge.
just I'm just saying it because I've seen it. I've seen some bruiser dodge twice because they think they're saving time to get closer to their targets, but you only need to dodge once, honestly, to
Well,
proc your opal.
you only want to dodge once.
Yeah.
Don't dodge to try to like get to them or something. Like if it's like one healer and you're fighting and there's no one around you, if you want to dodge forward twice, that's
Left gate.
fine. But if we're if there's a group, you need your stamina to like survive. And you
I'm
want to combo.
definitely.
You can't combo if you throw it out far. You have to
I'm.
throw it on the ground. You want to target the ground. That's the easiest way not to miss. Either right in front of you or close enough in front of you that one dodge can put you in shockwave range.
Yeah. Yeah. That. I'm definitely guilty of
Yeah,
So
doing
I
that
just
often.
wanted to point it out because I've seen it on VOD reviews. Some bruisers seem to think that if you dodge twice, you save some time, but realistically, I don't think you should do that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No doubt.
So what weapon 3 you want they use?
I can show you mine, but it's a okay. Here's the hammer one, and I'll upload this as a VOD so that and I can post it. I think it might be posted already, but this is the hammer one. It's just pretty standard. Um, for the axe, people also run whirlwind instead of charge. That's another option. Some
I don't
people,
like it anymore, man. I've messed a lot with
s-
whirlwind, but honestly, I think just having the charge to like get out of trouble is better in the end. Honestly,
um, so the thing with whirlwind is if you have the perk, on your armor or your weapon, it gives you a lot of fortify, so it makes you tanky, right? So what
yeah.
the way that you should use Whirlwind is not I saw someone in our in our war they they were trying to run towards some enemies that were like kind of far away, and they literally whirlwinded here. Same with charge. You do not use whirlwind to try to like move to them.
Yeah, yeah.
What you use whirlwind is you're in trouble, you whirlwind, and typically the best way to whirlwind is you whirlwind forward and you make a semicircle here. Like you whirlwind through the enemy and you make a semicircle back. You're going to be tanky, and then what whirlwind lets you do is, you're tanky during that, and then after that, it gives you a time to pop your consumables again. After your whirlwind ends, you pop your consumables. Like your consumables might be down, and you whirlwind to kind of give you some extra time. It's also the same for stone form. If your healer's in trouble, or you need some extra time to put your consumables up, like you're in trouble, like your cleanse pod is on cooldown, your gemstone dust is on cooldown, and there's people around you about to get fucked. That's what stone form helps like bridge like the difference.
How much health does yours gives you back?
Stone form?
Yeah.
I don't know. If you
Is this
want,
significant?
oh no, it gets canceled. I think what I heard is it gives you like 70% of your health or something,
Oh, really? Damn. Okay.
and it gives you like makes you like fortified. Like I especially like to run stone form when I'm in a losing war or I don't know who the healer is too. Like um detonate is probably better on defense, and I think stone form is better on attack. But you can
Okay.
run both, like like you can run like however, but those are the only two you should run. You shouldn't run vines or anything like that.
Yeah, I was experimenting with the stone form that gives you some form of detonate, like it's a mini detonate if you
Hmm.
want. Because some people were saying that when you pop the stone form before you do your regular bruiser combo, like you will not get staggered, so you can perform your whole combo, and you also have a detonate inside that, so that's even more damage. But
Well,
I mean,
if that's the case, you can like maybe try that out. I don't know the answer to that. I've
yeah,
never
yeah, yeah.
used I don't use my stone form before I combo to combo. I don't feel like that's an issue for me. Like,
Okay.
like if I get stunned, I get stunned, right? Like I don't think it's worth using stone form to engage your combo, like to get your combo off. I think it's better as a survival, like you know what I mean?
All
Like
right.
my healer's down, I'm trying to get away, but I can make it if I stone form, or like uh my cooldowns for my important consumables are down, and I don't think I'm gonna live. Let me just hit stone form. Like,
Yeah, I think I'll build your healing one to test it out then.
yeah, you
Stoneform is
try it in OBR.
also Stoneform is also really good if you are trying to enter the fort. A lot of people will use their cleanse pots to start, but if that fight gets extended, you can use your stone form to push into fort or to live through something like that because it
Oh,
clears that
especially
CC.
if like you're running through like the gate, right? And there's gonna be a shitload of CC here, right? So the normal practice is, you need to, pop your cleanse pod and your regen and stuff, and you go through it, right? But if you're in trouble, like maybe they root you, use the root heart rune or something like that. Stone form is like just perfect for that. Like,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
it's yeah.
What's so different about your stone form? Can I see it?
Oh,
I
I
don't
I,
understand what
I
you're
use
talking
I,
about.
I use the healing one.
It says heal. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna build it to try it. I've never tried that one.
I love it. I love it.
So
Okay.
and in your sense of using it, it would make sense to use it um not for attacking because of that damage reduction.
It reduces, yeah, the damage that you deal while it's active, but
R-
I use it for like keeping myself up, not for
Yeah. For sure. And that's the way it should be played.
oh,
And maybe just in general, stone form period should be played.
hmm I think it's good. I like it. Um, Detonate's good too. Like detonate's definitely good. More damage for your combo. Like you can detonate while you do your combo to do even more damage, right? The next thing is, this is kind of just general info, but like when you get inside of 4, right? You might be like, what do I do, right? So typically, like, you want to get up here. Like if you get through this door, for example, go outside, going through here, right? You don't really want to fight in the dirt over here. It's kind of a bad place. You want to either go up the rampart and go all the way up, and start killing the horns, and if you're able to, there's shops here you can kill too. But if you're highly, like, if there's a lot of enemies and you can't do it and you're trying to, not die, right? You can just go up the stairs. And then one of my favorites that I like to do is just to go up over here and just jump up here. Then you want to kill both of these shops. One thing to note is, if you're hitting and there's no damage numbers, it's dead. Like this will turn black, these red carpet things. But sometimes it's kind
Okay.
of bugged, like the health bar. So like if you're confused, like you're hitting it and there's no damage, then it's probably just broken, and you can just leave. And then you can go up here. You can also, like, jump up here, right? Things like that. These should all be war horns. War horns are super, super strong. You want to help clean up the remaining war horns. One thing that you should do is, like, when we're outside breaking down the doors, the ranged, like the mages and stuff, can shoot like these horns to try to start killing them. And then you come up and kind of finish the shops and the horns. And then once they're down, that's when, like, the real fight for the center begins.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, would you say the war horns and the shops are like mandatory before
so the only
anyone's
time it's
considering?
not mandatory is in two scenarios. One is, um, it's a late game, you don't have time,
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah.
If you break in, like, and you still have like 20 plus minutes left, you probably want to do the war horns because the buff is huge. Um, it makes it really hard to fight them. But if you're winning really hard, like maybe you're just a lot better than them, you can ignore it, or maybe you wipe them outside at a really good time or something. Then the caller can call for just going on the point. But most cases you break shops in your horns. That's like the standard practice, so to speak. Let's see. And staying
Okay.
alive in here is really fucking hard sometimes. Like, they have spawn advantage. So sometimes you gotta just, like, kind of run around. Like, you can, like, run around up here. Like, you can go up the sides of the ramparts, right? You can also run around up here. And you can do the little gravel trick thing here. Maybe there's guys here. You can gravel. You can combo them. You can run around here again. You can charge up here. You can just, like, kind of make it so you can't die so easily.
Yeah.
Um, or you can go up there, go up wherever until, like you don't want to kind of int, like you don't want to just, like, die for nothing, if that makes sense. Like, you want to, like, kind of survive until, like, enough of your team is here that you can fight them before engaging. And if you go up, it's, like, also perfect because, like, not only are you, like, surviving, but guess what? When your team is in and you have a good amount, you have a very good vantage point to drop on them, gravel them. You're above them, they won't see you.
Yeah.
You'll get a clump easy. Um, let's see. Is there anything else that I missed or that anyone wants to talk about, like, or have questions about?
Anything Bruiser related, I think you covered a lot of it, man. I think it's pretty good. Like, I can go on more and more for like
Yeah.
war related, but as far as Bruiser, man, I think you touched pretty much every aspect of the Bruiser. I can't think
Yeah.
of anything right now.
So the goal is for this meeting is, like, I just want to, give everyone kind of the knowledge of, like, this is kind of how you play the Bruiser in war. And so then you kind of know, like, how you should try to play, and then you try to play it, and then you make VODs, and then we can try to, like, point out the parts that you're maybe having difficulty with, or you can look at, your mistakes and maybe you don't see them, etc. Like, uh, I just want so that everyone has like kind of the basic knowledge of like these are kind of the things you should be doing.
I think that's good that everyone else that's not a bruiser is in here, just so they know like what it is the bruiser is trying to accomplish and understand how close they need to be or where, how the bruiser is going to focus on certain fights,
Hmm
and have a better understanding of that team dynamic.
Yeah, and I think two other things, just real quick, is like, in your group, you kind of have to figure out like, do you think you can play lead bruiser? Like, do you think you can be the man with the comms, right? Because that's typically a little harder to do. Or do you think you're gonna play second, right? You kind of want to discuss it with whoever you're playing with, try to figure that out. And if neither of you can play lead bruiser, if both of you want to play lead bruiser, maybe you can change the groups up so that you know people are playing what they're comfortable or want to play. Um, and then I'm just gonna say consumables again. That's
I
I,
like it.
I'm telling you, you cannot play bruiser without good consumables. You're just gonna die.
Yeah, don't cheap out, guys. Tier 5, come on.
I agree. There shouldn't be any expense spared. Like you should be getting tier 5 everything for
Yeah,
your
Yeah.
just DM
war.
Sander. Easy.
I can help also. I can help also.
And then just to clarify one more time, cleansing pots, is it more situational whether you're popping it before you're going into the clump or you're
So if
saving
it's a
it
huge
while you're
clump,
in the clump?
no. If it's a huge clump, pop it before. If it's like
Okay.
2 or 3, you can kind of make your own call. Like maybe you just use gemstone. But cleansing pot is the most like you'll feel like a god when you have cleansing pot active. Like
Oh fuck
you're
yeah.
so fucking like unkillable. Like unless you have 10 people just smacking you at the same time, like you'll
What's
notice
a
like
cleanser pot? And can you
um
show me?
I don't think I can because well, okay, actually I can. Let me share or
Is it
VOD.
in the new world?
Well, I can't see it here, right?
Could be.
Like,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I have like VODs, so let me open a VOD. Okay, so this one right here is. And if anyone has any questions, no, let me. That's the wrong one. One sec.
Did you crash water?
What do we use in OPR?
Take it on you guys.
You don't have cleansing pots in OPR. Okay. I'm going to share.
Battle bread.
I'm gonna share another screen. Wait, I can change windows. Interesting.
Yeah, battle bread in OPR. Like that's the only consumable that you can buy at the shop that's worth using in OPR.
Okay.
Definitely.
Or a bruiser.
So I played against Swamp Legion, the company that we played against in our war. I was with Mamooks today, and we beat them. And this item in slot 5 is the cleansing pot. It looks like a yellow potion, and you can buy it from the shop at the beginning. And that's the most important one. Almost all your tokens that you earn should buy cleansing pots. You need these. Like you want to pot these like candy, like because that's really is what will make you live.
Can you recall the cooldown time on it? Is it like 30
It's
seconds?
so it's like 30 seconds. You definitely need refreshing toast on your Ami because this is you know, so here's the cleansing
Oh,
pot. I
okay.
have
Nice,
21,
nice.
right? So like if you watch here, I'm going in,
I'm
right?
I'm fighting for my life right now,
Um,
lagging.
and
I'm down.
yeah, I pop them both immediately because I want to fight like, and there's a lot of guys like, well, I didn't end up going, but I guess that was a bad example, but
No.
it's what keeps you alive.
You were preparing for the battle,
Yeah,
man. It
yeah.
was about to
5 on
happen.
respawn. 5 on
They're getting
respawn.
too much control over here. We gotta start to
3,
take this
2,
shit out.
1.
Um,
Respawns now.
but yeah, and you buy it from like the shop at the beginning if that
You
answers your
can also
question.
buy it on the flags after captured.
Yes, on the flags
Yeah.
and on the shop. And if you have low, you need to go buy more. Like when you die, just if you don't have like 10 or more, just go buy some. Like it's Without it, you're literally just like, and that's why we break the shops is because we want them to not have too many of these cleanse pots. If they don't
Oh
have
yeah,
them, their
that's
bruisers
good.
effectively are just gonna die.
Yeah,
Would you say the
it's good
consumable
perspective.
management is similar for the support roles like VGIG as
Yes,
Bruiser?
for VGIG,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I think it might be a little different for like the light people, like the healers and stuff. I mean, they still use like regen, but you probably don't pop like gemstone and cleanse like candy like bruisers do. Like that's literally you have to just use it. Like you have to just get used to using it before the engagement. If the engagement lasts a while, you need to pop them again. Like and because the cooldown's kind of long, stone form might carry you to the next cooldown. But you gotta
Mm.
when it's down, you gotta really be careful. Like you can really die really really fast in a war because there's so many players and so much damage coming at you that like that's the when these are up, that's when you can fight, right? That's when you want to pop these up, throw your and then do your combo, your gravel or shockwave maelstrom combo.
You know if the stone, the gem dust is still better for VGIG also?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I know like I watched some VGIGs from heaters and tardy and stuff. They use gemstones. So the only time you might use oak flesh is if you're kind of have a weird build where you like you gem for like elemental, but typically you gem for slash damage. So and then you run oak flesh. There's like a cap on fortification. Um, and so like the gems like the slash you have is part of that, like including gemstone dust, oak flesh, and the gems on your armor. So typically like when you have a lot of slash damage gemmed in already, you don't want to use oak flesh. It doesn't help you as much. But your elemental resistances are probably lower, so gemstone dust is gonna provide a lot more benefit there. Because I know a lot like mine's actually I think a little low right now, my slash, but like a lot of people run like 20 something slash resist like that are bruisers and VGIGs. A lot of the same kind of concepts apply to VGIGs as bruisers. But I think it's a little more like for VGIGs, they don't have to quite be as good about it because like they're they're typically maybe behind you or something. But if you want to be good, you definitely need good consumables. But you can probably
Yeah,
get
makes
away
sense.
with it a little bit more than a bruiser. With a bruiser, you're the front line, right? You're like, if you want to live, that's what you need to do. Like,
Yeah, I wanna stress again, like I know you said like, and then you think the same thing as I do. Like I know you said 4 resils minimum, but honestly, guys, at this level of competition, I think 5's the minimum, realistically, honestly. Like seriously,
always go
five
for
res-
five.
I
five
agree. I
resil,
agree.
please, guys, come on. It's 1 year over the release, man. At this point, every company like probably stresses this out to their bruisers. Like I highly doubt that they let bruisers go in there with 4 resil. Like seriously, I doubt that.
And also, if there's anything that you're confused about a little bit, or if you have questions over, feel free to ask again. Like, I don't, it's fine. Like, if there's something that might be a little bit confusing at all, like just, or you can shoot me, a DM or anything like that. I also have, different VODs if you want to watch, me or other people play. I have some, links to VODs and stuff for other bruisers that are
Oh
good.
yeah.
Um, and Morup's gonna walk through how to do VODs so that you guys can
Yeah, tomorrow I'm
hopefully do it
planning
for the next war.
to
And
show people how to use OBS and record VODs. I
in
know I. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry. In addition, I just wanted to point out real quick is with the VOD thing. Morup also like if you don't have like a really good like gaming computer and you're worried that it'll lag you, if you can also like tell them about lowering the settings in New World and also the recording quality. Like you don't need like
Oh
super
yeah.
high recording quality.
I think normally people suggest 720p, but I
Yeah,
mean, I guess you
I
could
use
go all the
720.
way to 540 maybe.
Yeah, whatever is fine, right? Because I know some people like Wubby, like they were lagging when they were recording, but if they
Oh,
reduce
okay.
the quality, it should be fine. Like unless you really
All
run
right.
on a potato, right? Like if you're on like a laptop or something and you can't record, like I understand. Like that's
Screw you, Popo.
well, do you is yours if yours is a
Like,
gaming laptop, maybe that's fine. Like if you have a like a graphics card on it or something.
Like
Oh,
an
my Steam Deck
Alienware
is
with the.
BIS. My Steam Deck is BIS.
Oh, bro. I
Yeah,
usually. Yeah.
I did watch the tutorial, and I know like a few tweaks that you can make with OBS to actually put the pressure on your GPU instead of your CPU, because New World is
Yeah,
super
yeah.
CPU demanding. So there's a tweak that you can do inside of OBS to make it like more GPU intensive for the recording specifically. So
Oh,
that's something I'm gonna go over tomorrow.
nice. That'd
Sweet.
be helpful.
Popo, do you have any good VGIG like people
Hey,
don't
man,
watch
go
like
have your
VOD?
own meeting, Hawk.
I'm just curious.
Hockey, I'm a DMU a video. There's one that I'm planning to stream tomorrow. There's a guy on YouTube that makes a really good series called Art of War,
Oh
and
yeah, death metal. I know that guy. Yeah, yeah.
he's streaming. He's VOD reviewing one of the top VGIGs from Bonsai, one of the best companies in Europe. And that VOD has some really good gameplay perspectives from a VGIG. I'm a DMU that video.
Yeah, actually,
Nice.
that guy, I think is pretty good. Like, he makes a lot of good points, but his videos are very long. So, like, you know,
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I've watched some of his videos. Yeah, he goes in depth for sure. Yeah, that's cool. Just do it to me. Do it to me more. That's cool. Thank you.
and if you get questions later, you can also message me. I will stop the record. Oh, record.